respected Chairman ISRO and Secretary Department of Space, former secretaries of the department, invited dignitaries, respected dignitaries and invitees, I am very happy to report here that the LVM-3 M4 vehicle has injected the Chandrayaan-3 satellite to the precise orbit, and once again the vehicle is proved to be the most reliable heavy lift vehicle of Indian Space Research Organization. Congratulations to the teamwork of ISRO family. I would like to appraise three things here. The vehicle systems are in the continuous process of quality improvement, especially in the event of our human rating efforts towards making the systems reliable. Secondly, the payload also, capability of the payload also is improved by mission strategies as well as vehicle engineering approaches. We are in the process of increasing the launch frequency of this vehicle considering the national requirements as well as satellite demands. Here, so many improvements we have incorporated in this vehicle. For example, the S200 nozzle, they are processed exactly as per the human rating standards, enabling us to have 100% NDT, and the inherent pocket erosion characteristics are removed. The L100 stage Vikas engine, mostly it is 100% qualified to be the human rated engine with indigenously developed LET throats, and the pocket, the backward gas entry also is eliminated, and it is a perfect system. Yes, and CE20 stage also is perfectly, actually, sir.
Good. So we will describe all those details later because of shortage of time.
Yes, sir. I take this opportunity to thank all the mission executives because mission executives for all the supports all along the launch campaign process as well as the launch. Once the launch manifest is released and mission executives are identified, really this is a penance of so many across the ISRO centers, our launch vehicle centers, VSSC, LPSC, IPRC, IASU, SDSC, SHAR, URSC and SAC, along with all our industrial partners, major players to the small-scale industries who supply us with all the deliverables in time, quality products, the suppliers of chemicals, propellant ingredients, suppliers of avionics systems, and our own GOCO facility operators. Actually, the industrial manpower is really our ISRO's virtual manpower. Everybody's efforts went into this, and also the prayers and best wishes of all our seniors, retired executives, everyone's prayers and our own family members. I take this opportunity to pray God Almighty for all the blessings in the form of this success, which was the penance by the ISRO family for last 73 days. And my prayerful pranams for the successful continuous operations of the Chandrayaan spacecraft, for its safe and soft landing on lunar surface and further experiments. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Respected Chairman ISRO, Center Directors, dignitaries and my team Chandrayaan-3, very happy to note that our Chandrayaan-3 has been injected into an intended orbit with very close orbital parameters. Congratulations and thanks to LVM-3 team. And all our spacecraft health parameters are normal, including the power generations in both propulsion module and lander module. Our journey to moon has begun now for the most awaited soft landing. We'll be closely monitoring and controlling the spacecraft from ISTRAC Bangalore. Many critical events are lined up, starting from earthbound maneuvers, insertion into the lunar orbit, and separation of lander, and set of deboost maneuvers, and finally the power descent phase for a soft landing. I take this opportunity to thank Chairman ISRO, Director URSC, and all the center directors for entrusting me this opportunity, who have been the motivational and guidance force behind this mission. My special thanks to Chandrayaan-3 project executives, Associate Project Director Kalpana, Deputy Project Directors, Project Managers across the ISRO centers, who have provided an excellent support in building the spacecraft. My special thanks to the expert committees for their constant guidance throughout the various stages of the project. I also thank the various work centers and industries who have contributed directly and indirectly to this mission. My special thanks to URSC council members, group directors, deputy directors across the ISRO centers, and looking forward for the soft landing with all your wishes and blessings from the God. Thank you.
We have our Honorable Minister for Space, Minister of State for Space, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, amongst us during this historic occasion of success of launching of LVM-3. So we would like to hear a few words from him. Over to you, sir.
It is indeed a moment of glory for India and a moment of destiny for all of us over here at Sriharikota who are a part of the history in making. Thank you, Team ISRO, for making India proud. And thank you, Honorable PM Narendra Modi ji, for having made this possible by unlocking the gates of Sriharikota and enabling the India's space sector. You would recall, Honorable Prime Minister had very recently said, sky is not the limit. And living by his words, I think the Chandrayaan today has gone beyond the limits of sky to discover the unexplored horizons of the universe beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, this day today, the 14th of July 2023, is also a day of vindication. Vindication of the dream that Vikram Sarabhai saw 6 decades ago. He might have been short of resources, but never short of confidence. And when we see those pictures of a launcher vehicle being carried on the carriage of a bicycle, without any remorse, without any slightest embarrassment, that is because Vikram and his team had faith in themselves, faith in India's potential, faith in India's acumen. And today, here, we are vindicating and we are reiterating India's indigenous capabilities, living up to the ideal of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And before I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, as Mother India enters into the next 25 years of this Amrit Kal, she pledges to play a leading global role in the emerging world scenario of 21st century. Thank you and congratulations once again.
Thank you, sir. We will also introduce the directors of the centers who have done all those great work of building the rocket, building the scientific instruments for Chandrayaan-3, the Chandrayaan spacecraft itself, and made all those critical systems, and also the agencies who are going to handle the rest of the mission part, the tracking and the ground stations, and all those teams are here. So I request the directors of those centers to join. First, Director of Vikram Sarabhai Space Center.
Good afternoon, India. In last 1 year, this is the 10th mission, including the precise landing of the reusable launch vehicle. So with this mission, this is the 7th mission of LVM-3, the successful mission. With this, the success rate of LVM-3 is 100%. And this is the ideal vehicle for Gaganyaan. Some of the changes that we are incorporating in Gaganyaan, we have implemented here. And the Mark III has crossed the reliability of 0.9 and inching forward. So I take this opportunity to salute the entire ISRO community, especially the VSC community and all launch vehicle centers, industry partners for making the stages, making the sub-assemblies and testing In fact, this is the third launch of LVM3 in 1 year. You know, the realizing the stages, assembling, testing, and then launching 3 LVM3s in 1 year is a Herculean task. I salute the industry as well as all the ISRO centers for this. And I wish all the very best. We know that when the beginning is good, the ending has to be good. I wish all the very best to the Chandrayaan for its solitary journey through the vastness of space and for making a feather-like soft landing in the 4th week of August. Good luck. Thank you.
Dr. Narayanan, Director LPSC.
Good afternoon to all of you. It is a historical event for Indian space program and a proud moment for all the Indians across the globe on this momentous occasion of the successful launch of the Chandrayaan-3. 3-in-1 spacecraft in the required orbit with the highest level of precision by our heaviest launch vehicle, LVM-3. After the 2 launches of LVM-3 vehicle this year, this vehicle is realized in the record shortest time. Today, once again, all the vehicle systems have performed, demonstrated the 7th successful launch. As you all know, the entire spacecraft community has put wholehearted effort during last 4 years, and we have realized a marvelous, great scientific satellite. For this mission, the entire vehicle performance is as expected, as predicted. In fact, the precision in which the satellite is launched shows the reliability of this vehicle. And we too have 4 liquid propulsion modules, 2 in the launch vehicle. The L110 stage, C25 stage, it has performed extremely well along with all other vehicle systems. We too have 2 more propulsion modules, one for taking the spacecraft to the moon, another one for soft landing. I think it is already well integrated, the system health is very good. Today's success is the culmination of the dedicated, smart and hard work of all the ISRO team members and the work culture of ISRO and the review process what we follow. I am sure all further mission operations will be a grand success and we'll have the successful soft landing. On this occasion, let me congratulate and compliment the members of ISRO team, our family members who have really sacrificed, the partners from industry and academia, and the various review fora. Thank you. Jai Hind.
The Chandrayaan craft was built at the UR Rao Satellite Center, so I request the Director of URSC to speak.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity to first thank my colleagues from the Launch Vehicle Center for providing a textbook-like launch for Chandrayaan-3 on its journey towards moon. Thank you very much. And as Director LPSC and Director VSSC mentioned, realizing this kind of launch vehicle, third launch vehicle within a year's time is indeed a Herculean task. And thank you very much for the effort that has been put by all the members of the launch vehicle community and the industry supporting them. Coming to Chandrayaan-3, Mohan was telling that it is a penance. In fact, it is a penance of the Chandrayaan-3 team for the last 4 years, which has come today as an outcome. It is sitting like a brain sitting inside the head of a human being on that mighty vehicle. On top of that, that satellite was sitting, and it was such a happy moment to see that satellite getting separated. And our work continues from now for the next 42 days till we reach the lunar orbit and touchdown softly on moon. So we'll speak the rest of the things after the soft landing on top of moon. Till then, thank you very much for all the members of the satellite community and the industry for your support, which has been continuing over several years, and I'm sure will continue in future also. Thank you very much.
Space Application Center Ahmedabad plays very important role in our scientific instruments and building of the satellites. over to Director SAC, Nilesh Desai.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. At the outset, let me compliment Team ISRO for this excellent work, and especially vehicle team as well as the project team. And as we begin this historic journey towards moon, well begun is half done, as it is said. So I'm sure that we'll succeed in our effort and endeavor to land on moon safe and in secured manner with a soft landing after 45 days. So I wish all the best to all the people who have contributed directly or indirectly, and especially to the project team, spacecraft team, as well as my team at Space Application Center, who has developed sensors and other hazard detection and avoidance system, which will help for a secured and safe landing on moon. So once again, I thank all who have contributed in this mission. Thank you.
Director of this center, Satish Dhawan Space Center, is the chairman of the Launch Authorization Board and also realizing the solid motors of this rocket. So over to Director SDSC Shah Rajarajan.
Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh, respected Chairman, our mentors and the dignitaries present here, and the entire ISRO family, a very successful launch and hearty congratulations to all the LVM-3, M4 and Chandrayaan-3 mission. So, once again,
Respected Honorable Minister of State for Space, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, thank you for being with us during this historic day of the journey of Chandrayaan-3. And we are going to have very hectic days ahead. So before we go into any other questions, I request our Honorable Minister to have an initial remarks before we get into any questions. Thank you.
No, thank you, friends. I don't think anything much to tell you. You've been watching this entire thing live. At the outset, I think it's my proud privilege to congratulate Chairman Mr. Somanathan and his entire team. And as I said, even in the brief address, it's a moment of glory for all of us. It's a moment of glory for India. And I think a moment of destiny for all of us, that we are part of the history in making. And I must thank Team ISRO for making India proud. And also thank Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji for making this possible by unlocking the doors of Sriharikota and enabling the India space sector. It's only the last 3-4 years that we opened new vistas. We were till now functioning in a very constrained atmosphere, not even allowing you guys much access into these premises. Now we are in a more integrated, synergized manner functioning, also adding our resources, supplementing our resources. And as Prime Minister recently said in a statement, the sky is not the limit. So I think Mr. Somanath and his team has lived up to that. Sky indeed is not the limit. The Chandrayaan has gone beyond the limits of sky to discover the horizons of the universe beyond that. And I said there, and I would again like to repeat that it is also a vindication of the dreams seen by the founding fathers of ISRO, Vikram Sarabhai and others. They were constrained of resources, but they had confidence in abundance. You've seen, you have published those pictures of launcher vehicle being carried on the carriage of bicycles. So it's been a tremendous journey, a miraculous journey, an incredible journey, which only goes on to prove that there was never a dearth of human resource or a human equipment, a human talent, a human potential in our scientific fraternity. But possibly at the level of the policy planners, at the level of the leadership, the prioritization was different, or we didn't have that kind of enabling milieu which has been provided in the last few years under the present government headed by Prime Minister Modi. And therefore this is also a befitting tribute to Vikram Sarabhai, and happening at a time when we are entering into 25 years of Amrit Kal. The entire mission is totally indigenous, living up to the mantra of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And in the years to come, I think this also reiterates India's role as a global player, not merely a global player, but as a leading global player in the world arena in the years to come. And this was established by some of our earlier scientific fields, like, for example, the vaccine story, which originated from the Department of Biotechnology, where the whole world looked up to us as a hotspot for COVID. It was we who not only contained our COVID, but provided the world with the first ever COVID vaccine. And this is now the reiteration of our scientific prowess and the technology-driven economy which is going to happen in the next 25 years. I think India is going to be the torch bearer of that. You've seen, as far as the mission is concerned, you saw it going up stage by stage, and in the next 3-4 weeks it will complete its journey by the 3rd week of August. And I'll ask Mr. Somnath to give you final details if you wish to. And after that, we have ambitious programs coming up like Gaganyaan, etc. And the very fact that during recent visit of Prime Minister Modi to the US, which was actually, the agenda was heavily tilted in favor of scientific agreements, more so space. We have arguments that we had the International Space Station agreement as well, which in fact is a reiteration of the fact, which is a confirmation of the fact that India today, the US and the other countries today look up to us as equal partners. So it is US today which is soliciting an Indian astronaut to go up to the International Space Station. So beginning our space journey much after some of these countries like USA and the then Soviet Union. I think it's a matter of pride and a great tribute to our scientific talent and a huge vindication of the dreams seen by our founding fathers. I'll ask Mr. Somnath to carry on, and if you have anything to ask, you can address the question to me, to him. Yes.
सर सबसे पहले बहुत बहुत बधाई शानदार लॉन्चिंग के लिए। मेरे 2 सवाल हैं। जिस तरह से हमने देखा है LVM3 का परफॉर्मेंस वन वेव का हमने जो सीरीज के जो सैटेलाइट प्रोग्राम लॉन्च किए उसके बाद आज जो हमने देखा, तो गगनयान मिशन के लिहाज से कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि हमको उसके लिए LVM3 ह्यूमन रेटेड चाहिए, तो उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में इस लॉन्च को आप कैसे देख रहे हैं? और दूसरा सर 2-3 माइलस्टोन बता दें, ये लाइन किस दिन होगा, LOI किस दिन होगा, और लैंडर की सेल्फी हमें कितने देर के बाद मिल जाएगी?
मैं आंसर करूं? तो आपने सुना होगा कि हमारे मिशन डायरेक्टर ने इसी बात में कुछ बात बताया था उनके एड्रेस में कि LVM3 अभी छोटा हम कदम ले रहे हैं कि ह्यूमन रेटिंग करने का। आज का ये S200 है जो
आई बाबा होण्याचं स्वप्न प्रोजेनेसिस सोबत होईल पूर्ण। आमच्या अनुभवी डॉक्टरांकडून वंध्यत्व मार्गदर्शनासाठी आजच भेट द्या प्रोजेनेसिस फर्टिलिटी सेंटरला।
और गगनयान का पहला अनमैन मिशन जो होगा उसी समय ये रॉकेट पूरी तरह ह्यूमन रेटेड होगा, तो ये छोटा कदम ले रहे हैं। अच्छा, और आपका दूसरा क्वेश्चन जो है कि ये लॉन्चिंग के बारे में है। चंद्रयान कभी अर्थ बाउंड ग्रेविटी ऑर्बिट से मून तक जाएगा, ये होगा 1 अगस्त को। 1 अगस्त विल बी द ट्रांसल्यूनर इंजेक्शन गोइंग टू टेक प्लेस as per the nominal program. So we will have 4 earthbound maneuvers. After that, it will have the lunar injection on 1st August. After that, it will be captured in moon. Then it will become our orbit propulsion module, lander module separation will happen on 17th of August. So final powered descent and landing is currently planned on 23rd August at 5:47 Indian Standard Time, evening. So that is the current, everything goes normal from today to landing, that is the schedule. Okay? Thank you.
TV9 Bharatvarsh. My question is that after a successful launch, what is the challenges for next level? The soft landing is for you a primary concern or anything else?
See, before launch, our primary concern was to reach it in the right orbit. Anyway, that concern is now over. Okay, so further concern starts. So further concerns are then we have to slowly raise it to the Earth moon-bound orbit. That will happen in next four burns, which are scheduled. Then, as you know, it has to capture the moon. If it doesn't capture, moon mission is not there. So our calculation, I hope it will all be all right and it will be captured on moon. Then it will be an elliptical orbit. Then it has to be a 100-kilometer circular orbit. That's another 3-4 maneuvers. Then on the designated day, it has to reduce from 100 kilometer to 30 kilometer and then land on the moon precisely, soft landing. So all these regimes are equally critical. I don't think the landing alone is not critical. Every step is critical. So we wait for the next 42 days of work. Please watch us. We will update you on every step what we are going to do, whether it is successful or we have a problem. You will come to know. Thank you.
Yeah. Please continue.
डॉक्टर सोमनाथ मैडम मैं हूं जी न्यूज़ से मेरा सवाल इस चीज को लेकर है कि 4 साल के अंदर आपने अपनी असफलता को सफलता में बदलने की पूरी चेक तैयार की उसमें आपकी टीम का बहुत बड़ा योगदान है। अगर आप बता सकें रिजॉल्व लिया कि चंद्रयान 3 लॉन्च होगा और किस तरीके से वो मिशन जो है वो आगे बढ़ा, अगर आप टाइमलाइन बता सकें।
ये तो बढ़िया क्वेश्चन है। हमारे 4 वर्ष का काम हम 4 मिनट में बताना है तो बढ़िया कष्ट होगा। तो मैं ये सिर्फ यह कहूँगा कि देयर वाज ए फेलियर फॉर अस. So what we decided, find out what went wrong. First step, that took almost 1 year. Second step, what we can do, corrections are required to make it better. Then we looked at what more can go wrong. और कुछ भी problems है hidden रहते हैं उसमें, तो वो सब we brought out through reviews, testing, etc. Then the third year was all testing. We went on so many tests, which was not done last time, and final year was final assembly and preparation. So it was a period of very great extent of work, reviews, mental agonies, specimens, new equipments were realized, entire design was redone, software re-verified. We brought so many people to review our designs once again, and we did hundreds of tests last 2 years to prove that it is good today to go for launch. So it has been a big journey for the team. I have to congratulate the team sitting here, not me. There is a big team, thousands of people. I think we have to, maybe after this we will introduce them.
Yeah, but I think Somanath is being very modest. It is not a failure. I mean, it would not be fair to say it was a failure, because if you go even statistically, most of the countries have not been able to successfully land in the first attempt. So, going by that comparative analysis, we are statistically better off than all the other countries. Our record of landing in the first attempt or in the second attempt, many others have landed successfully or absolutely only in the third or the fourth attempt. Having said that, it was also not a failure, because only last 12 kilometers you had some shortcomings which did not live up to your expectation. Actually, your expectation level was very high. You wanted to accomplish through that mission many things which possibly you could have kept off for the next mission, which did not happen. So it did not, the agenda envisaged by us could not get accomplished in its totality. So that was kind of a disappointment. But our lander is there, machine reached there, orbiter is still there. So it's just like that. You board a vehicle or a transport bus. It takes you to the destination. It reaches there, but there is a jhatka in the brake, as you sometimes find in the landing of the aircrafts. So it's not a failure, but it fell short of our envisaged agenda, which now they have not only supplemented, and that is with every case. Even if it was successful from our point of view, we would have still learned from it, because even the successful mission gives you a hint about certain pitfalls, which you realize, okay, this went off well, but it should have not been like that. I could have done it this way. So every successive mission is an improvement of the earlier mission. And here you also had certain buffer components brought in, as Somanath ji is saying.
I will also request you to look at the tweets of our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. He has given tweets on Chandrayaan 1, what it brought out, what was accomplishment of Chandrayaan 1. He also brought out tweet on Chandrayaan 2, what are the scientific outcome, the accomplishment of Chandrayaan 2, and also hoped that Chandrayaan 3 will go well. Kindly look at his last 2 days of tweets. He has brought out it very well. Thank you.
But still, I would like to know from you, what were the thought process that went behind the choice of experiments that these instruments do? Why these experiments?
No, that is an essential part of any mission. Experiments are
Different experiments. I mean, you have a suite of experiments to do. Why did you choose these three?
See, experiments are chosen based on scientific
requirement of the
objectives.
mission, yeah.
We have a scientific team headed by one of our former chairman who looks at it. And in beginning of Chandrayaan program, there was a scientific goal set. What you want to find out, what is unique that you can find out, what others are not done. And that is how we found out water on the moon on Chandrayaan 1. Because
in a way, not only is this mission comparatively better than many other missions by the other countries, also it is totally indigenous. And as we mentioned, Chandrayaan 1, though they may have landed before us, but the discovery of water on the surface of the moon was brought by Chandrayaan 1. Now this is going to go one step further, more so because it's landing on the south polar area, where you have different kinds of craters and all. So it's just moving from one level to the other level.
See, yes.
We all know how the Prime Minister was interested in this space visit. Did the Prime Minister speak to you guys after the successful launch?
Oh no, he's abroad, he's treated, and
Is he going to be there on 23rd when the landing happens?
that will work out. But of course, I have no hesitation to say that all this has been possible also because there is a huge lot of individual indulgence by Prime Minister Modi. This whole ecosystem has developed because in the last 4-5 years, beginning from opening the space sector to the private players, then putting in place an interface called InSpace to deal with the private sector, to coordinate with the private sector, then putting up a PSU called New Space India Limited. So all this is an ecosystem which has supplemented the resources, both human resources as well as financial resources. Now the 140 odd startups, private startups who are working over here in collaboration with ISRO are also actually contributing, both human resource wise, because there's a huge lot of young talent happening there. So it's an ecosystem which has made this task easier. And that's also because the Prime Minister Modi has always been forthcoming as far as our experiments and missions are concerned.
One second. You have to use the mic, otherwise we can't hear.
I said congratulations to you and your team, but I'm a bit confused about this. Why did you not have a full-fledged orbit at this time? Is propulsion module, is spacecraft, and I'm a bit confused about it. And the second question is, what is the progress you have made on human spaceflight program?
Okay, we will limit to the Chandrayaan 3 today. Okay, on the orbiter I will answer. Orbiter is still there. Orbiter is orbital.
That is what we were saying in response to the earlier, what you said.
See, the orbiter had scientific experiments last time. This time it doesn't have scientific experiment, but we added one towards the last time. So it doesn't have a function of being in orbit and do any active function. That's why we don't call it orbiter. And it doesn't have a relay function as we have envisaged last time for communication. So our Chandrayaan 2 orbiter is going to do that function. So in view of this, there is no need of really an orbiter. We need only a propulsion module to reach up to the moon. Hence, there is a need of. So I believe your confusion on that topic is over.
The focus this time is on in situ experiments on the surface of moon. And therefore, the agenda is set like that.
Agenda is, yes, different.
Madam. One minute.
You have to use mic.
Mic.
Sir, I am Srinivas from ABP News. As I have seen the confidence on you people, I thought to give you congratulations for now only for 23rd of August. It seems that we are going to land softly this time.
Okay, let us all clap.
You see, if you recall my words, I said confidence they have inherited as legacy. If you see the pictures of Sarabhai carrying launcher vehicle on the carriage of a bicycle with no resource available and people like you and me singing nursery rhymes sitting home, Chanda Mama Dur Ke, and USA preparing to land on the surface of the moon. This is early 60s. They are already preparing. Apollo series have started. So the huge lot of confidence is there, but what is appreciable is that it is not a misplaced confidence. The confidence coming out of substance and the acumen that is inherent to our Indian talent.
I'm going a little further. Just 2 days before, I have seen a tweet of ISRO where you have invited private players for TOT, transport technology. What exactly it is?
Can I ask our in-space chairman, Dr. Pavan Kumar Goyal, to answer?
You can from there, sir.
Can you answer?
One minute. Sorry, 1 minute.
No, he's saying the transfer technology, Goenka. Pavan, Mr. Pavan, about saying the startups in the transfer technology, how would you accommodate them? That's what he was asking.
See, ISRO has a treasure of technologies. And as these startups are coming up, it makes a lot of sense for them to not redevelop the technologies. And ISRO can transfer technologies to startups, and startups will take it and take it forward. And ISRO right now is very aggressively identifying technologies that they will transfer. And in space is only facilitating the technology transfer. All the technologies will be coming from ISRO.
Okay, yeah.
Madam.
For space, in this mission in Chandrayaan,
No, the space is open for private sector.
Yeah.
Not the private sector is open for
what are the kind of key developments that the private sector industries have contributed for this mission? Can you name some critical components that were provided by them or some companies that were invaluable to this mission?
If I start listing, it will be huge.
Just a few, sir, just a few.
Okay, the first thing to say is in the rocket which took place, that LVM-3 rocket, 85% of the money spent on the rocket is in industry. Okay, only the value of the rocket, just 15% of the work was done only within ISRO. This is first point. So to corroborate it, the entire materials, the entire manufacturing, everything that you are seeing outside the rocket, also inside the rocket, is also coming from industry. Only the processing part, final processing part, quality control, the mission design, the final operations only done by ISRO. Another thing is there are industries now working within ISRO's facilities now. It's called, our mission director used a word called GOCO, government-owned company-operated mode. There are many facilities operating to produce critical systems inside. Tomorrow they will go out and do it on their own. They are supplying. For example, in the RF systems that is there in this launch vehicle, 8 out of the 9 systems in this rocket is produced in private industries in GOCO mode. And many things in that are done in such facilities. So industry's contribution is very enormous. Coming to the Chandrayaan-3 also, the hardwares which are visibly there, many of them are from industries, but the industry contribution in satellites are actually lower, not as much as the rocket today.
So my question is, my question is, Minister, what is the cost of this project? And while many developed countries at the moment dominate this particular space, I'm on your right, sir.
Where?
I'm on your right.
Go ahead.
My question is, what's the cost of this project? And number two, why many developed countries dominate this particular space technology and expertise?
No, I think the cost. Okay, you have a second part. As far as the cost is concerned, I think by now it's been quite often reiterated as 600 crore or so, slightly more than that, which is not much considering the kind of stake and prestige and the outcomes involved in this mission.
How important is this for India to develop expertise in this area when many would argue the same funds could be utilized for other key areas like poverty alleviation?
No, I think your question of course is well taken because it might be occurring to many minds, but it could be answered in two parts. I think again the credit goes to this last 9 years of the Modi regime. We are now no longer confined to only launching of rockets. Space technology has virtually entered every Indian household, every sectoral development, whether it's the construction of the rail tracks, smart cities, roads, buildings, telemedicine. tele-education. Some of your most ambitious and successful success stories are based on space technology. Like, for example, the Swamitva program, which is a very ambitious program, unique of its kind in the world, where you are doing the mapping of the farms and the land areas, demarcation. Secondly, the COVID, the vaccination, the vaccine transportation, etc., was guarded by the drones and the... So, that is one part, immediately. Now, the other part is how would it help a citizen by, going up to the moon. You see, India now is no longer the India of what it was about 10 years back. World looks up to us to take a lead. And that has also happened because earlier on, the world did not take us seriously as far as the, some of the more progressive concerns are concerned, like the concern related to climate change, concerns related to energy. They thought we were all beset with our own problems of droughts and floods, and we didn't have the capacity to look beyond. But it was Prime Minister Modi who in COP26 made the pledge that we will be net zero by 2070. So now we are actually contributing hugely to the well-being of the mankind as a whole. So we have become a part of the global world, and we have assumed responsibility which is of a much larger nature, which in the process will not only give us scientific supremacy, but also enable us to play a role both for bringing in ease of living for our own citizens as well as citizens of the world as a whole, in keeping with the mantra that Prime Minister gave, the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is also the G20 theme. So I think there's a whole lot, and now in a kind of ecosystem that we live in, we cannot be isolating ourselves. If the rest of the world starts moving to the moon, we cannot delay our march. And the other part is that now we are at par. We are at par with the countries like USA. It's no longer that they would have adopted technology, apply it, popularize it, and then we adopt it, as we did in case of television or computer. Now we are also we are at the same step of the ladder.
No, thank you. What we'll do is we will have...
He says one question about that. मैंने भी वहाँ कहा कि जैसे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा कि स्काई इज नॉट द लिमिट, आज प्रमाणित हो गया हमारा चंद्रयान आसमान की सीमाओं को लांघ करके ब्रह्मांड को खोजने निकला है. So we are actually living up to that, and I am sure जो बच्चों की आप बात करें, they are going to carry forward this mission.
We will have a short now. I will request all the mission directors, project center directors join on board. Goenka ji, please also please. No, you can discuss with the directors. You can ask them specific questions. Mission directors are going to be available. You can discuss with them on technical matters after the minister has left. So please wait. We will have to. He has to leave now. Okay.
Hold this.
I want to go.
No, they want a picture of this.